you sure if I push this button and not that one, the science project's gonna work right this time?
I am Neek.
Wait, what?
Good morning, students. Welcome to school. Remember, the thought of the day is...
There's beauty in the mundane.
Well, then this is the most beautiful room I've ever seen.
All right, welcome to Neekology 101, the study of the nerd and geek in their natural habitat. I'm Gary.
This is John.
And I'm Ron.
All right.
Ooh, that rhymed. Gary, John, and Ron.
Nice.
That's not nice.
Well, because Rudy is, he's with his dad today, but we're not too sure.
Are you at the Lavender Festival, Rudy?
It is June 15th.
I bet you are.
I feel pretty. Oh,
So pretty. Purple's my favorite color. My name is Rudy.
Right. Poor Rudy. He's never going to let that one down, man.
Hey, Rudy, when you get there, do you go, I feel right?
I like flowers.
All right. Okay.
Well,
anyway.
we'll figure out how much we cut out.
Right, exactly. Well, okay, so today we're gonna look at something that these guys have not checked out. I was put on assignment. Thank you for the gurgle. Don't drown in your own sweat there. Anyways, Rudy gave me an assignment to check out this show called The Umbrella Academy, based on a graphic novel that they put out on Netflix. So he said, go check out the first couple episodes. It looks pretty interesting. And I couldn't just watch the first couple episodes. Really good show.
So it's on Netflix?
On Netflix. It has season 1 is out now. Really good show.
Obviously.
Very different. So let me just give you some background about this real quick.
Give it to us.
So the Umbrella Academy, based on a Dark Horse comic. So here's yeah, there you go. So those are obviously very, I've heard of that before. I know they've,
We do a lot of animal noises on this show.
there you go. Anyways, so here's the premise of it. Okay. So in October of 1989, 43 babies were born. Well, that happens all the time, right? But here's the deal.
Way more get born.
Yes. The mothers at the beginning of the day were not pregnant, but at the end of the day, they gave birth to children. So it was a really odd. And the movie actually starts off with, in Russia, there's a girl.
Movie or
I'm
series?
sorry, TV show. Well, it's very movie-like. But the mom is, they're in Russia, and she's like making eyes at this boy she likes when she jumps in the pool.
Very handsome.
Yes, and she jumps in the pool.
Do you want to jump into my pool?
She jumps in, and then everyone's screaming, and she bloats up, and she has a baby, and
Like in how much time?
within like 5 minutes.
What?
It's really weird.
I
what
got
happens.
Okay, this goes out to Courtney, who will never listen to this, but she's the same way because she's got gluten allergy. So we'll get her like rice or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like, ooh, Courtney got pregnant over lunch.
Oh no, it swells up.
Yeah, she looks like a baby.
Oh no! Oh my
She's even
gosh!
gone up to guys in bars and goes, "Do you think this beer makes me look fat?"
Oh my gosh! Can't handle your hops. Holy cow! Oh my gosh! Well, what happens is that there's this eccentric man. Okay. Who
Is his name Gary?
No, his, oh my gosh, I'm gonna kill myself on his name real quick, but I get it. But anyways, he decides to adopt. He wants to adopt all of these children. So he
I heard. Did you tell me this already?
I did tell you about this
Okay,
show.
that's why I was like,
Yes.
this is familiar.
Yes, and so he decides to adopt these children. Well, he gets 7 of them, and so he designs this Umbrella Academy for unique children. Think a lot like Xavier, right?
Yeah.
From Yes.
I have adopted 6 children, gifted with abilities far beyond the ordinary. I give you the Umbrella Academy.
And so he's
Xavier has the same haircut you do.
there
Gary.
you go. Yeah.
And Ron.
Nice. And what was really cool about the show was they really went into superheroes have issues, okay? Because this dad...
Not Superman.
Not Superman, no. But the whole idea in the show is that there are, of course, 7 children. They all have different stories, which I'm going to go through. Without telling you the plot of the story, I will tell you that Hardgrave was the name, the guy. He's the one that adopted him, a very rich, eccentric man. And this show has a very... there's really some different elements in it because as they begin to, give some backstory...
Wait, hold on a second. Did you guys watch Jessica Jones?
I have not seen Jessica Jones.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
Oh.
So I was thinking, wasn't Hardgrave the...
Is he older man?
He's not that... He's older, but not super old. Mm-hmm. But I was like...
Does he wear a monocle?
No.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just confusing the the bad guy in Jessica Jones.
Gotcha. I don't know all the shows either, Ron. I just hear from these guys too. So, but what happened was he took these kids in. He trained them how to use their abilities.
Is that number 7 significant?
The seventh child? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Because, in fact, I'll go through all their numbering because he called them by their numbers and not by their names.
I like that.
So he...
number 2.
Right.
Who does number 2 work for?
So he understood their abilities. He basically trained them, prepared them. How this whole thing worked was... basically, he built this home. He built this academy. He turned them into superheroes. But he was not the best dad. He's very disconnected with him. But I will tell you, some of the characters in his life were really interesting. So let me put it this way. Their mom, her name is Mom, right? She's an android. But she had more heart than the dad did. And it was just interesting how she was very much the heart of the family, like what he couldn't have. So some of the kids can really connect with her. She really was the...
So what is that symbolism?
The symbolism?
Yeah, give it to us.
There are some people who just don't... They're more robotic in their life. They just don't connect with people.
He's more the robot and she's more the human.
My name is Grace. I'm your new nanny.
She's a machine, Allison.
Who read to us and cleaned up after us and put us to bed. And then we left her here. Ready to go? Alone. In this house for 13 years. I mean, no wonder she lost her mind.
But I've got such beautiful views here.
Now, this is the part where you might go a little strange, but his butler had a lot more personality to him. Very personable, loved the kids, very interactive, and really almost like it was a clone of him.
The butler was a clone of him?
But he's a chimpanzee.
Oh, no.
And it totally, he
I saw that coming.
But Pogo, no, he's very, very articulate, very,
So what is this like?
He did all kinds of interesting...
X-Men meets Planet of the Apes?
I think, well, we find out later, which I will let you into away, but he did some genetic tinkering with things and try to figure out this whole superhero bit. And he did do some experiments.
In October 1989, 43 women around the world gave birth. None of these women had been pregnant when the day first began.
The first season doesn't go into tons, but we do see the outcome of one of them.
So I'm guessing he's some sort of scientist?
He's a scientist. He's a entrepreneur, philanthropist. He basically turned these kids into, and they had their superhero masks, and he put them in the world. They had this great mission to save the world. So we find out later.
The superheroes?
These superhero kids, yes.
Is this a Marvel?
No, it's not a Marvel. It's not a Marvel. It's
comes from
standalone Dark Horse.
Comics.
But where they took this was when you come into the story with them, the fathers died, and so they've all broken up because it's a very unstable family. They've all broken up, gone their ways, and the death of their father brings them back together, and you begin to find out what kind of childhood they had, and it was not good. But it deals with a lot of issues that we deal with today, which I'll talk about the characters, but in a superhero setting. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. So we've got the background.
Especially
that it's
the
not
chimpanzee.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me start off. So he numbered each child. So number 1, Luther. He's the good boy. He's the one that he's the leader of the group. And when we see Luther, he's on the moon. He lives on the moon, and he's a guardian. He's guarding the earth from some immediate danger we don't know. But the dad put him out there like 2 or 3 years before he died. And without giving too much away with it, Luther, something happened to him.
Okay, so are all these kids adults now?
They're all adults.
Okay, so
they're all
18
adults.
or older.
18 or older, all out of the home now.
Home sweet home. Tell you, things were a lot simpler up there. I've had the same routine for the last 4 years.
What's it like?
Quiet.
But he was the most faithful one of all the kids.
Luther?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so of course they called him number 1, and he really tried to become that leader. And they didn't want him to be the leader. But
Who's they?
The other brothers and sisters. So there was a real issue with power play and things like that. And a lot of them didn't trust Dad after a while because he was very cold. But he was the one that stood by his dad right to the end. And so he I don't know if I want to give this away too much, but the end of when they all get together and whatever, Luther was always the guy his ability was being super strong, right? But he was super skinny, and he never could get big, right? Mm-hmm. Well, in one of the last missions his dad sent him on, he almost died from a biological agent. So Dad injected him with something. It made him huge and hairy like a gorilla. So he's changed.
So he's like Beast.
He's like Beast. And so I think one reason why Dad got rid of him was he felt guilty and he put him out in the mood and just whatever. But he came back. He has this image of he wants to be strong, whatever. And now he's very ashamed.
So he's Italian.
He's got a lot of hair, yes. But what a heart.
Does he have gold chains?
Right.
Talk like this? Forget about it. I was on the moon and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's for gays. You ain't even a real superhero, all right?
But he's very innocent. He's just got a good heart for his family. And he just breaks his heart that his family's falling apart. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of number one son. Number two, Allison Hargrave, she walked away from this family. She became an actress, right?
Oh.
And so she has the limelight. She had a kid, got married. The problem is her ability is that she says, I heard a rumor. And when she says, I have a rumor, basically whatever suggestion she puts in her head, you do. So she's gotten her way with lots of
I heard a rumor Gary's going to get me bacon.
And here we go. Exactly. And what happened was she promised she'd never use it on her daughter, and she did.
Her daughter? She had a daughter?
She has a daughter, yeah.
I heard a rumor you made the soccer team. I heard a rumor you want to be my friend.
I heard a rumor that you like.
I heard a rumor you left me.
I heard a rumor that I get it in one. I heard a rumor.
And now, one of the things about relationship is, okay, so they all are adopted children, just so I can say that real quick. But Luther and she really liked each other, and they were hoping that would become a relationship. So there's,
yeah, but Luther's got a hairy back.
She loved him for who he was.
Chicks usually aren't into that.
Well, they didn't find out that he had that till now.
Oh, okay.
Because these things happen. They've been apart for so long. And so it's a broken home, all coming back together. Allison is really, she really is she's a great character. She just is one of those ones where she wants to see her whole family united too, just like Luther does. But she's very mad at Dad. It's a lot of dad issues too. Because she knew. She was the first one to realize how cold he was. Okay. And so she really wanted a connection with him. And she was the one that,
What was his motivation for adopting all these children? Just to do experiments on them?
I think
or does he have some other?
There's something under, because one of the children figured out what he was actually doing.
Okay, we're going to hear about that.
Yes, we'll find out about that too. Because as they're doing more storytelling where they jump back and forth, we get some of his backstory too. So we kind of find out it's very possible that he's not from our time. Or not from this.
Hargrave isn't?
Right.
Okay.
It's very possible. So there's some almost steampunk and anachronistic kind of things going on. We're not really too sure.
What was the other word you said?
Anachronistic, out of time, from a different time. So there's some things that they're not going to, they left you hanging at the end of the season and you're going, what? Where's this coming from? Okay. Third son named Diego, this is so funny. He's the one that...
Does he have a cousin named Dora?
Right. How'd you know?
That's the monkey.
Right?
That's where the monkey came from.
Diego.
That's not Swiper, right?
Swiper, stop swiping. Right, exactly. Diego, now it's funny about Diego is he's always wanted to be number one because he's kind of like the brothers, like, you're doing it wrong. This is how you do the superhero thing, right? So he's the funny thing, the joke they have is he's still wearing his Umbrella Academy superhero suit when everybody else isn't. And the girl goes, does he shower with it? He goes, I think he does. He never he keeps his mask on, or most of the time he keeps his stuff on.
Guess I'll see you guys in 10 years when Pogo dies?
Not if you die first.
Yeah, love you too, sis.
He's a knife thrower, but he's very precise with it. So where he throws,
it's like Bullseye.
Yeah, pretty much it. And so, but he.
You see how you can't reinvent anything?
I guess
it's
not.
Like you just recycle stuff.
Now his social emotional problem was he was a stutterer, very insecure. Mom is the one that sat with him, so he has a very close
android.
The android is the one that helped him come out. So he bonded with his mom. Mm-hmm. So he's very close to the mom. So when mom.
He's a mama's boy.
Yeah, pretty much it. So, but he's got to have that outer tough image too. He's got to be the tough guy. Okay. So he's got that good mix of just he's got some emotional issues going on. Didn't connect. In fact, he hates his dad. Really connect with his mom, and so.
So we're seeing as they get younger and younger, there's more animosity towards dad. Okay.
They want to connect with him. Well, think about it. These are all adopted kids. Right, and they got taken. They didn't know any better. They were as babies. This is the only family that they've ever known, too. Mm-hmm. Now, the fourth child, which we don't hear a lot about because he died.
Oh.
By the time the episodes come around, his name Ben. We'll tell you, Ben and Klaus, which is number 6. Klaus.
So wait a second. You go Luther, Allison, Diego, and Klaus.
Ben, and then Klaus. We'll talk about Klaus in a little bit. He's an interesting character. Anyways, so Ben in it, he we know that he's passed, he's died. His ability, he does not like to use his ability at all because it's really freaky. What happened?
Is it?
Well, they show one black backstory of them coming in and fighting these criminals, whatever. And he goes, "Oh, I don't want to do this." So they put him in the room, and you see the silhouettes. He turns into this like giant creature with tentacles and just tears them all up. And he walks by with blood. He goes, "I hate this job."
No idea. Sorry. Liar. Drop dead. Low blow. God. She wrote that?
So he does not like his ability. He does not like his ability. But we know something happened.
So he's the tentacle man.
He's a tentacle man. He's got
Don't mess that up with testicle man.
Don't mix him up.
You ever see
That's
Better
a whole
Off
different mess.
Yeah, did you ever see Better Off Dead?
No, I've heard about that.
Oh, it's funny. So this girl's from France. She talked about this boy that she's like in love with him. The mom's trying to be, and she's like, he keeps putting his testicles all over me. He's like, John Cusack's like, no, it's not testicles, it's
tentacles.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
That's where I got that from.
Right. Exactly. Gotcha.
It's got John Cusack in it. I'm in.
Right. Now
You gotta watch it. It's a good movie.
Klaus and Ben are very connected because I'll tell you, Klaus, the best way to describe him is that he sees dead people. He's pretty much.
Oh my God, Sixth Sense.
He's pretty much like the kid from Sixth Sense. If you
Does he see Bruce Willis?
Right, but he does. It scares him, and what the dad and they go into his psyche because he's turned to drugs. He's turned to all kinds of things to block the voice out of his head, and he doesn't like to do it. So he's always in and out of rehab. Yeah, and so
he's Robert Downey Jr. in the 90s.
I don't know, man. He's facing death. And
you're a good actor. We can do all that stuff, and still they respect you.
Right, there you go. Well, one of the things the dad did, they showed some flashbacks because he would always put them in a way to bring out their abilities. Right, he locked them in a crypt at night. That's what the dad did to him. He goes, "Because you're going to use your ability." So basically, the kid's messed up.
But I need you to talk to Dad.
I can't just call Dad in the afterlife and be like, Dad, could you just stop playing tennis with Hitler for a moment and take a quick call? Yeah.
So he's trying to do everything to kind of block out all the
kryptonite.
No, put him in a crypt at night.
At night. Okay, I was like, thank you.
He's like, ooh, but you know what? That's kind of a play on funny words, though. He exposed him to his kryptonite, right? Nice save there. But the thing is, so he could get his abilities, and so and the interesting thing is later on in the series, he starts to see Ben, his brother, and he's communicating with him. And he and Ben begin to build this whole thing. Ben dies, but what's funny thing is, all right, go and say Ghost. The movie Ghost, whatever, you know how you the ghost can start affecting the real world kind of thing. He helps Ben to be able to more interactive with the world again.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of he learns how to use his ability without jumping. You know what, too? I think I jumped. Did I do 1, 2, 3, 4? We should be on 5. So that's where one should. I'm sorry. So Klaus is 4.
No, Klaus is not 4.
I'm
Klaus
off my
5.
numbers. I think
it went Luther.
Yes.
Alice. Diego.
Okay.
Ben, who died.
Right.
And Klaus.
Right.
Who can see dead people.
I think Ben was 4, and I think 5, which I'll talk about, is I skipped Klaus is 6. So let me jump back to 5, and that's perfect for him because this guy travels through time.
Oh, Gary.
And so, yeah.
Oh, Gary.
And so, but his story is very.
Does he have chronotons?
No, but I will tell you.
Read the book Chronolocity,
right? Which I will type back in with that because definitely. But here's
who had tentacles?
Tentacles was Ben.
Ben.
Yes.
And then he died.
He died. Okay. Yeah, and I think he was 4, and then it was Ben.
And then
it was 5, which we don't know 5's name. He just goes by 5.
He's just 5.
He doesn't have a name.
And that's the time
traveler. Okay. 6 would be Klaus, and then
Klaus.
We'll get to 7 a little bit because that's a whole different story too.
Uh-oh.
So,
what's their relationship with their father when you get to 4, 5, and 6?
I don't know about Ben. I think Ben was a misunderstood kid. He was very dark, and so he just didn't. He was very to himself. I think he resented just having abused his abilities. All that problems too.
A lot of testosterone.
Klaus really had some issues. Now number 5. Go And
Cinco.
we could do a whole story just about him because he pulls in a whole lot of stuff. What happened was he found out that he could jump, right, in time. Yes. His dad said, don't do it.
Why?
He told him, do not jump. This is not what I want you to do. And I think part of it is because he's very rebellious and you tell him not to do it.
He did it.
He did it. Knowing the dad, he might have been... Did it stop?
I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, we're okay.
We're good? Okay.
So start off with the
All right. Ron's going to do a little shift in there. Oh, you want to come back?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Edit.
It's all good. It all work.
Okay. So here's the deal with number 5. Let me just... Okay, so the dad told him not to. Knowing this dad now, Hargrave, that he might have said that to push him to do it.
Oh.
Probably, you know.
I jumped forward and got stuck in the future. Do you know what I found? Absolutely nothing.
So basically, he gets the Umbrella Academy. It's wiped out. He sees his brother and sisters all dead. Luther's holding a glass eye. And so what happened was the world basically got destroyed. And he's like, how did it happen? Well, what happened too, I'm not going to give too much story. He ends up getting stuck there for 20 years in an apocalyptic world.
How?
Because he can't jump back.
Why?
He's not able to.
Because he ain't James Brown.
Right.
Oh,
he's not able to jump back. He's not able to jump back. So I'm going to be careful because I don't want to give it too much story. But
that's right.
So I want you to watch it. But what happens is he's there. He develops since he's the only person, he develops a very special friend named Dolores, who's a mannequin. And he's
like our intern.
Right, there you go.
So the correlation with Gary.
Oh, I get it.
When no one else...
Time travel, and I think you are number 5.
Well, remember this. Remember Wilson from...
yes.
From
whatchamacallit.
Come on, what's the movie?
I don't
Castaway.
Castaway, yeah, with Tom Hanks.
And, it kept...
Wilson!
Right, kept his sanity, man, to be able to talk to someone. So she really became the person he could talk to and connect with. He was there 20 years with no human life around him. Mm-hmm. So, and then he got to be an old man whenever. What happened was he was
After 20 years, you're an old man?
Well, it must have been, I don't know how many years he was there. Because he jumped when he was 13.
That's may only make you 33.
So
that's how you do
But
math.
he got grizzly, whatever. So he was very... I don't know. He might have been there 40 years. I have no idea how long it was. I don't remember after the World War II. He was older man, and what happened? He got approached by a time traveler who wanted them to work for him. And they're so basically
this time traveler just happened upon him.
She found him.
Okay.
She brought him back to hold on. Let me get the 1955.
Why 55?
Ask Dr. Brown that one. Do you remember that from Back to the Future? Why 1955 was some pivotal whatever?
What was it?
It was some nexus of time, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But what's interesting is they recruit him, but as you...
Again, so they stole that from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Get it?
But here's what's funny about it. As you jump through time, one of the things is when he jumped from the past, there's some time paradox where you come back to the point where you started from, and he was a young kid again. Mm-hmm. So he's...
Too bad we don't have Rudy here to do that.
Marty. Anyways,
Marty.
This is what's his word he says all the time?
Jack, we can't go.
Yes. Yeah. Great Scott.
And that's right. That's it.
Anyways, but so there's a whole. What's interesting, and I'll try to not give this away too, but there's a group and their job, and they're based in 1955. So everything looks like 1955, but it's a time travel or corporation, or whatever. Is they carry these suitcases, and that's how they travel through time, whatever. Their idea is to keep people from screwing up timeline. Oh. So he has different missions. He was the one that made sure Kennedy did die because there's all these people that try to mess with time. So he became a very lethal killer.
Ah.
So it's interesting. His character became so different from what he did in the Umbrella Academy. They turned him into a hitman, and because he was able to, and he figured out how to jump back to his family to warn them. So he figured out how to jump back, and that's the crisis that the dad wants him to figure out how to save the world.
Wow.
So it's a very complicated story. A lot of things happen time travel with it. And here's the deal. Number 7. Okay. Mm-hmm. Number 7 is named Vanya. Okay. And I want to say at the very beginning when they showed the Russian lady having the baby, I think that was her mom. I'm trying to connect because it was in Russia. So Vanya is
Yes, I like that.
You like
That's
Vanya?
very good.
Very good connection.
That's a very good name, Vanya.
She plays violin.
It rhymes with vodka.
She plays violin. She's a very you could call her very emotionless person. She's always meant
Like Mothrash.
You know.
Yes, Miss Vanya. I knew.
she's having to constantly take medication for her emotional states, whatever. And she's very, very matter of fact, whatever.
Catatonic or no?
Just very, almost very.
She's the opposite of the mom who's an android.
Yeah, she's very Wednesday-like from Addams Family.
Mm-hmm.
Da, 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 da. She's just she holds her emotions together or has no emotions ever. And so the thing is, she got closest to the dad, obviously. But here's the deal. She had no obvious powers. So what happened was, whenever they sent the 6 out, he always told the news, I adopted 6 children with abilities. So she was very slighted as a child. She was just like, Dad kind of kept her next to him. And what happened is she built up a lot of resentment over the years because she had no abilities. Or at least we thought she didn't have any abilities. So
that was very dramatic.
Very dramatic. Come to find out.
Or at least we thought.
Come to find out that she has an ability that could destroy everything. And so Dad worked it out where he basically medicated her, and they also made her forget who she was. But it comes out. So that's the whole thing I find out is what her discovery and what happens and how it affects everybody else too. But very, very, very cool story. Now I want to pull something back real quick. There are 2 characters in it, 2 of the bad guys. And one of the things I love about that, Hazel and Cha-Cha. Okay, and they're 2 hip. Cha-Cha is African-American lady.
What are these guys? I was going to say, what are they, like Chihuahuas or something?
No, but they almost look like a combination between Men in Black and then what's the Pulp Fiction, how they dress with their suits, the whole thing like that.
Yeah.
And they're hitmen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so Cha-Cha is no nonsense, kill them, knock them out, do their job. Hazel, on the other hand, is beginning to really he's looking at his life going, I don't want to do this anymore.
There's someone out there who's trying to stop me from preventing the apocalypse.
We need the full force of the Academy.
Bingo.
His name's Hazel?
Hazel, yeah.
So he turned into like Jason Bourne.
Yeah, yeah. And he falls
I'm on my own side now.
He falls in love with the donut lady because he's a donut aficionado.
Aim high.
And so it's just funny. He's very he sits and contemplates about his life. He wants to know what he's doing. So it's just
like Jules.
Jules from
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I'm gonna walk the earth. So without legal tenure, you're gonna be a bum, Jules.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So maybe they did pull from a lot of different characters. Who knows, right?
Interesting.
But it's an interesting show. I thought the acting was cool. The characters were very believable, and it deal with a lot of issues with. Now, okay, here's the thing that I didn't tell you too is the Diego often talked to his mom. Said, "Mom, why did you stay with Dad when he abused you so much?" Mm-hmm. So he dealt with a lot of domestic issues too, because the dad she was pretty much treated as a non-entity. She was a robot.
She is a non-entity.
But she wasn't though. She was the heart of that whole family too.
But she was a non-entity.
She was, but she wasn't too. And the thing is, where her life went, and it's interesting because there's a lot of secretive things that went on too, behind the scenes.
Remember, Diego, just picture the word in your mind.
Don't move.
You did it! I'm so proud of you.
But it deals with family issues and characters of people and how they deal with life, and you threw superheroes in there too, right? How they would deal with life. So the show is, I recommend it. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Watch the first episode. You'll know.
I feel like I don't have to watch it now.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did not tell you. I did not tell you the best stuff. No, okay. I did not give it away. I just told you about the characters. I didn't want to. 5's whole thing. There's a whole mess of stuff in there with characters that you'll like. And I don't know. Check it out.
What's it called?
It's called The Umbrella Academy on Netflix. Okay. Even in the way they do their titles is kind of cool because the umbrella symbol always shows up in something. But they do a lot of different storytelling. A lot of things turn out different than you would expect in a story, and pretty much anything can happen to anybody. So it does have 1 season out on Netflix right now, and I think they do a good job with it. They've got a really interesting ending too, so it brings you back for more. So
what's the ending?
of the ending. I'm not going to tell you the ending because Ron will slug me because he already gets mad because I tell too much already. The ending, basically, they have to resolve their issue with
not you,
family
Gary.
members. No, not at all. It's hard. I'm getting that look. It's like, yeah, don't do it. But do you have any questions about it that I cannot answer? That's nope. But I hope you check it out. And, again, thank you, Rudy, for the recommendation. A lot of other good shows out there. We just watched Chernobyl, which you haven't seen that one on HBO, there's just a lot of great shows are being made, in, what do you call it, on a lot of these networks, these TV networks now, too. So, but there you go.
Anything.
Oh, yeah.
Patak!
Enter Mr.
Come on,
Rodriguez.
Right.
You're Marty. We got to go to 1955.
We just left 1955. Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm still Gary.
Still John.
And still Ron.
And class is dismissed.
Were you ever angry with Dad?
The children are ready for bed, sir. They wanted to say goodnight.
He was terrible to you.
Don't say that.
He made the world a better place.
Stop trying to defend him.
Get up. We're going.
Where?
Save the world.
Oh, is that all?
Thanks for listening to Geekology 101, studying the nerd and geek in their natural habitat. If you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button and stay up to date with all that's new in the Phantom Universe. You can find Geekology 101 on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Love to hear from our fans, and your input helps make this show possible. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at Godman Geeks, or you can contact us at geekology101class@gmail.com. We know we have a lot of fandom choices out there, so thanks for letting us invade your fandom universe. Because we are still the knights who say, Neek, 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 neek.